But now we are super delighted to welcome Father Michael White and Tom Corcoran into the studios. As we mentioned in the intro, this is an annual tradition, one of my favorites. So thanks for being with us.
Thanks. It's a tradition we wouldn't miss.
Great to see you guys.
This year you added snow, so it's just perfect.
That's for sure.
That's the least we can do.
Well, first off, you know, we'll get to the book, I promise. Okay. I promise. We don't want to make Stephanie mad over there in Indiana. But we want to just thank you so much, Father, for your Spread the Word segments on Advent. Again, my favorite season of the liturgical year. So tell us, you know, what makes you do that. It's really hard to get those messages across in such a brief segment.
It's an interesting exercise, but it's a fun exercise. We take the homily that I'm giving on that particular Sunday, and we reduce it down to, what, 2 or 3 minutes? Yeah. But I think really it's a good exercise for preachers. Can you reduce to a sentence or two, to a few words, what it is you're trying to say and what you want people to know? Yeah. So we've enjoyed doing it.
Yeah. Sort of the equivalent of an elevator speech, you know, but yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing.
All right, so let's get to the matter at hand here. I was saying when we were listening to the music, while we were talking over the music, that in my parish, like in practically every parish, if not every parish, there's always a struggle with money, and you get bills to pay, and you get salaries to pay, and you outline in this book some responses and some direction for us who work in parish ministry. Tell us what gave rise to the book? Where is its genesis?
Here's the genesis right here. He has a heart for this subject.
Yeah, I think you find out pretty quickly in a parish that you need money to do all these things. But also we found that when you read the scriptures pretty closely, Jesus talked about money an awful lot, and that our heart and our money are connected. Where your treasure is, there will your heart also be, Jesus said. So we really believe this is a discipleship issue, that if we're going to raise disciples, we got to connect discipleship and what Jesus taught about money. And as we've done that in our parish, we've seen really good things happen.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting, you've been thinking about this for a long time. I remember your first book, Rebuilt, yeah. One of the last Blink segments that you did for us, I'll never forget it, was because even your posture, you said, we're going to talk about, and then money, because it's a subject we kind of shy away from. So how do we bring that out to the open and the light of day?
Well, that's the thing. I think as pastors and in seminary, we didn't get a lot of formation in this, and so we're reluctant to talk about it. We'd rather talk about other things. And then eventually we have to talk about it, and we're uncomfortable, and everybody in the pews is uncomfortable, and it's not necessarily a successful exercise. And there's a better way to do it, I think. You know, if you just look at the lectionary, the topic of money comes up all the time, because Jesus talked about it all the time. And I'm not saying talk about money all the time, but I'm saying don't shy away from it if you're a pastor. Just head right into it with what Jesus taught us about money.
And Bill Baird, who is the former CFO of the diocese, the premier Archdiocese of Baltimore in the United States, just loves this book. Can you tell us, just to whet our appetite, so that, because I want people to pick up this book, especially priests, contemporaries of ours and pastors. Why is it that Bill loves this book, and what is the basic plan that you lay out?
Well, and I think it's a book for pastors and staffs and financial councils, but I think the average person in the pew can read the book and benefit from it as well. And I think why Bill loves this book, Bill Baird loves the book, is because we do take the first few chapters just to lay out, here's what Jesus said about money, here are some simple things he said about money, the topic itself, about giving, how the early church handled money, especially when you read through Acts of the Apostles and Paul's letters, and here's, again, some basic, great foundational teaching. I think one of the things as Catholics is we just don't really know what the scriptures say about money. I think we set out in a very few pages, clearly and concisely say, here is kind of the 101 of what the scriptures teach us about the New Testament teaches about money.
We have a lot of people in my parish, young couples especially, who are very interested in this topic of discipleship as it connects to their generosity in terms of time, talent, and treasure. We'd like to talk to you a little bit about that as we come back. But we're going to take a quick break. We don't want you to go away because there's more about this fantastic book, Church Money, coming up right on your television screen or wherever you're watching us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.